Let me make sure. Greetings, 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 grand rising to each and every one of you. Wago on, wago on. This is your brother, Chief Kalinago. We about to go in. All right. Happy Sunday, man. Let me grand rising to each and every one of you. Wago on, wago on. This is your brother, Chief Kalinago. We about to go in. All right. All right, cool. We got audio. We got audio. So check this out, right? We got a lot to discuss. We might be on here for like about an hour and a half, 2 hours. It depends. I don't know. All right. I'm just gonna flow with the lesson. Always keep in mind that lessons are strictly for knowledge purposes to bring information to you so that you know the truth. All right. But I'm more than just giving you information. I'm more than just giving you the knowledge. All right. I'm also here to teach you how to apply the knowledge, how to make the knowledge applicable. It's one thing to know something, but it's something else to be able to apply what you know. So the true power is not in the knowledge. The true power is in the application of the knowledge. And that's what a lot of people are lacking. They don't know the hows, right? But anyway, with that being said, what we're going to do is we have an array of topics to go through and just to bring a lot of things to light, because remember, man, we're living in the age of enlightenment. This is revelation, and all revelation means is what's hidden is now being revealed. It is no mystic, okay? It is no spook that revelation is prophecy. Listen, man, it is what it is. Yes, it's prophecy, but it's prophecy of man through the comprehension of the cosmos, ancient oral traditions. These things always repeat in cycles. That's why in nature you have cycles and you have seasons. All right. But anyway, with that being said, I'm going to put a word up here because that word is going to come in as we go along. All right. This word is going to be called karma. All right. I think karma is spelled Karma. Karma. All right. So do me a favor. Please share this link, share the video. And let's let these videos get some views. All right, we have to get that information out here. Now, even before I begin, I want to give thanks to my righteous ancestors, for just always guiding me to truth, guiding me to information, and just serving my purpose. All right, that's what I'm doing. I'm here to serve a purpose. And let's get this started. All right, let's go. So I want to show you a video, a clip that my brother Charles, Charlie, or Charles, I call him Charlie, sent me. All right, it's a video of Kanye West. Now, whether some people say, hey, the video is doctored, I don't know, but I don't think it is. But either way, Kanye, people such as Kanye West, Kevin Gates, Kyrie Irving, Waka Flocka, these people know who we are. They know that we are the aboriginals of the land, and I'm certainly sure there are hundreds, if not yes, hundreds, okay, of these so-called celebrities. They know the truth. A lot of them just cannot come out of pocket. All right, they have contracts, they have non-disclosure agreements that they cannot say certain things. And some of them, a lot of them, okay, are fighting internal demons where they are faced with a conundrum in regards to bringing that information out. You see what I'm saying? So it's an internal demon that they're dealing with. And a lot of them are fighting through it and telling the truth. Okay. So anyway, we are going to get into that quick little clip from Kanye and then we'll move forward. Okay. Because we have to deal with this topic of being black. Now, I've done videos, a few of them about black, breaking it down. But for the purpose of this lesson, we have to touch that first. This is the first thing we are going to talk about. Okay. All right. Beautiful. While go on, a talk to us American God, respect. All right. Let's go to this clip real quick. All right, here we are. Let me share this. Okay. And we're going to play the video. Let it populate real quick. Here we go.
Make him sound crazy because he's black.
Nick, what you care about crazy?
No,
and by the way, we're not black. How about that? We're not black, nigga. We're Indian.
Yeah.
We're Native American.
Yeah.
How many of y'all grandmothers got Indian in your family?
Yeah.
Wait a second, but what happened to the Indians? We black. Show me black on the planet. Why you stop recording?
He knows the fucking shit.
Why you sound crazy? Nah, because you think I sound crazy.
No, you don't sound crazy. You sound fucking legit. You're talking truth. You're talking truth.
We not black. Race was made up.
You're talking truth.
Race was made up. Show me black. Show me black on the planet. Show me black. Everybody else, they European, they Australian, they Chinese, they Japanese. Show me black on the planet. We marginalized as entertainers. I already seen the other side, nigga. I seen the factories. I went up to head with these niggas, man. And I'm still alive. And I'm live for this moment to say this to y'all. As far as the Nicki Minaj shit, I don't care. Love for her husband, I met her, blah, 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 all this shit. I don't care. I made that girl rewrite her verse 3 times for Monster. I supported her career.
They can make him sound crazy because he's black.
Nick, what you care about crazy?
No,
and by the way, we're not black. How about that? We're not black, nigga. We're Indian.
Yeah.
We're Native American.
All right, cool. So I wanted to play this, just that part, twice, so you could hear exactly what's going on. And this is the basis and the foundation of what we're going to talk about today. Okay, we're going to talk about 3 things. We're going to talk about black. We heard Kanye talk about black. We heard Kanye talk about Indians, and he also said we are Native Americans. However, I'm going to always, of course, expound on the knowledge of what black is, what it means, Indians versus Native. Now, I've done that in a lot of videos, right? In a lot of videos. But again, for today's purpose of this lesson, everything is going to come together, all right? So with that being said, that's pretty much what we're going to talk about today. The first thing we have to do is get our people. And when I say our people, regardless of wherever you're at, whether you are in Asia, whether you are in Europe, whether you are in Africa, whether you're in the Americas, we have to get our people. And when I say our people, I'm talking about the humans, as in H, okay? H-U-E-M-A-N, the human. We have to get the human to realize that he or she is not black. We have to get away from that because black is a curse, okay? Black equals curse, all right? Black equals curse, and I'm going to prove that, which I've already done that, all right? But it all comes back to karma, because so as it was in the beginning, so shall it be in the end. You see, a lot of people say that life isn't fair. That's not true. Life is very fair. You know why? Because everything that you do, it comes back to you. So yes, life is fair. Nobody's waiting up there to judge you. No spook, no sky daddy is judging you. Guess who's judging you? Your actions. Your actions is truly the God of judgment. Okay, I'm going to repeat that. Your actions is your God of judgment. There are many gods. And when I say there are many gods, I'm talking about characteristics of God. Okay? And the characteristic of judging is also a God, which is called karma. So everything that you do will come back. Everything that you put out will come back. And that's a fact. So why is all this important? Why are we talking about karma? Why are we talking about what you did in the past? It came back. Black, the curse. I'm going to break that down for y'all today. And also, all that stuff is actually in the book. The link is in the description. Jennings History Evaluation. I'm breaking this down. How we got into this situation, who we are, and exactly what happened. All right, big up, Brother Corey, what's going on? All right, so let's proceed. All right, so we're going to get into, again, the topic of black. One of the things that a lot of people are truly miseducated on is the fact that no one is black in complexion. All right, no one's skin is black in complexion. There's no such thing as black pigmentation. That's not true. All right, people have different variations of or shades of brown to the point where it almost look black, but it's not black. Okay, It's not black. It is a deep brown to a point where some people are even blue. Okay, if they're called blue black, so to speak, but they are actually so dark they look blue. Okay, but no one is black in color in terms of complexion. They are just different shades of brown, from a red copper tone, not even red copper tone because copper tone means brown, but from a light skin red bone, okay, what we call red bone, to a dark hue to almost black. That is in terms of a spectrum of shades of brown. That explains or describes, pardon me, the complexion of the human, which is hue means color, people of color. Okay, now mind you, everyone has color. Even pale skinned people have color because pale is a color. All right, but anyway, this is not about black versus white. Greetings on the vineyard. All right, this is not about black. This is not about black and white. This is about all of this is about status correction, identification, proper classification in regards to who we are as a people, restoring the birthright. And that's what my videos are about. So you heard Kanye talk about saying, hey, listen, we're not black. Nobody's black. Go on the planet and show me where anyone is black. What country is called black? What flag represents black? None. So how can black people be represented in a political driven environment when you don't exist? Within that same said system, you are considered dead in law, saliviter matus. And I've already broken that down in videos, so there's no sense in me going into it again. But that's what it means. You are dead in law. So when things are happening to you in the corporation, which is the United States, I also broke that down in a couple of the last videos that I did. So go check it out. Okay. When things are happening to you, you have to get out of your mind that it's happening to you because of the color of your skin. Because if that were the case, then when the real Africans come into the Americas or the United States particularly, they would be treated the same way that you did or you do. But guess what? They are not treated that way. When Africans come here, their status in the system, apart from their nationality, it's white. When they do the census, their status is white. And I'm talking about some of them look like this, to the point where you might confuse yourself and call them black. So why are people who are you may call black, but they're not in actuality, is just a deeper brown, but these people kind of look like this, a lot of them. Why is their status white? It is because black and white has nothing to do with the color of skin. They are both statuses. Okay, they are both statuses. So, but our main focus here is we'll touch the status. We'll touch about the status of being white, but we're gonna really focus on black because I'm gonna take you back further, okay, as to what black really means. And I've done that before because you see the universe, things manifest and things happen in the universe through vibrations and frequencies. All right, vibrations and frequencies. And every word has a frequency. Every word has a number attached to it because things in the universe, they're all made up of numbers. Okay, so black is a word that has an energy from a very long time, although it started with skin. When I say skin, I'm talking about in regards to complexion wise, not necessarily white, okay, but a different shade of brown. I'm going to break that down. So let us get into this. All right. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to look at the etymology of the word black. And I'm going to give you a little history on that. Okay. What's going on, brother Jason, Brian, Ashley, what's going on? All right. Now check this out. Here's something that you need to learn. You see, and that word, that's where that word karma is going to come into play. Keep that word in mind, karma. Okay? And keep that phrase or those two words in mind, also black and curse. All right? And then by the time I'm done, it's all going to make sense. You feel me? But keep karma in mind. All right? Before the pale man, and when I say the pale man, the people that you call white, they're not white. So I'm going to say pale for the purpose of this lesson. Okay? Which it's politically correct. Anyway, before the pale man, manifested here in this physical realm. There were only humans on this earth, on the earth. Okay? Humans, all right? Meaning that people of color, they were the first to manifest, all right? Now, we're not going to get into a time period. That's not what this is about, because all of that is speculation, right? But the first set of humans or people to manifest were people of color, all right? So called color. But this is the purpose of coming here to learn this lesson and learn this experience, okay? The different shades of people have to come into play. So when the pale people came into play, their mothers and fathers were people of color. Now, that may sound strange to a lot of you, but that's a fact. Okay? They came from the womb of a human, a female human. All right? And here's the thing. When that so-called, I'm saying so-called white baby, or those white babies came from the womb of this colored woman, guess what? The parents did not know how to explain that mystery. They could not comprehend how could a baby that don't look like me, no complexion, the eye color is different, the hair texture is different, come from me, right? So what happened with these babies? These babies became a plague. You see, you have to truly understand what transpired to know exactly why so-called white people had to be put in that position that they're in right now, and why they are still fearful from relinquishing the power. Okay, I'm going to rephrase that because I kind of got a little bit tongue-tied, right? But let me kind of say this again. I'm going to show you exactly why the so-called pale race, they happen to be on top. Of course, I broke all that down in the book, so make sure you get your copy. But for the purpose of this video, I'm going to touch a few things and why they are afraid to relinquish power that they have, that they were given or it was bestowed upon them. Yes, it was given to them. Pale people did not fight for that power here in the United States. It was given to them. And I broke that down in the book. You know why? Because of that word karma. Now, keep in mind, the pale race did not come from American Aborigines. The pale race came from Asia and Africa. I'm going to repeat that. The pale race were manifested. They came through the womb of the colored woman in Asia and Africa. A culmination of the Africans, what we call Africans, and the so-called Black Asians. You had to go through a process of what we call, some people say gene splicing, but it was, to me, it was called devolution. That's what I call it, devolution or degeneration. I broke that down in the book as well, where first you had to have the East Indians, the dark-skinned East Indians, you had the Asians, then you had the Caucasians, and within the Caucasian race, you have 50 different ethnic groups of Caucasians. All right, just to give you some more facts, right? But the main focus here is the experience of the so-called pale people or so-called white people that came from the womb of these colored people. They abandoned them. They treated them like animals. Now, I'm not here to give the pale man or the pale race a pass. No, I'm just letting you know what transpired. You see, when we start speaking the truth and we start learning the truth and we start talking about the truth, and now we are able to sit at a round table, okay, and talk about the truth, then we learn to forgive the past. We learn to forgive each other. And that's how we heal as a nation, because the truth of the matter is everybody's one. Now, whether you like it or not, I'm just giving you the facts. Nobody's one. You cannot claim that there is only one all most high and at the same time denounce other races that came from the same most high. You have to be either ignorant, you have to be in denial, or plain stupid. You feel me? Because you're in your emotions, because you don't know the truth. I'm here to give you the truth. I'm here to break this down to y'all. All right. So with that being said, when these pale children came from the womb of this so-called black woman or from this colored couple, and I'm saying so-called black, right? Guess what? They abandoned them. They treated them like animals because they just didn't know how to cope. Psychologically did something to them because they did not know the spiritual manifestation why this was supposed to happen. Because the knowledge was being dwindled. The knowledge was watered down. It wasn't passed down. But men of old, with the knowledge, renowned men, they knew why all these things were supposed to happen. The same way it was given to me. I mean, come on, right? So what I'm saying is this: these pale people from the very beginning, okay, they were in a mode of survival. That's why when you look at your chakras, the lower chakra, when you look at the lower chakra, it deals with survival, it deals with security. Okay? Because these people, the humans, as in HUE color, they have to degenerate, go down into their lower selves in order to manifest the pale race. So all the pale race knew was survival and security, always on the defense because our parents abandoned us. But what their parents did not know, the people of color, they did not know, once again, the spiritual implications of all of that. They didn't realize, guess what? That word karma would come into place. Okay? You abandoned your pale children. And you didn't just abandon them. You didn't teach them you didn't civilize them in regards to what we call civilization. They were savages. They were the first savages. Okay? Because you did not teach them. Right? They didn't know how to bathe, how to cook, none of that. Right? And a lot of these pale people, and I'm talking about in recent history, I'm not talking about like millions of years ago. I'm talking about in the 12th, 11th, 7th, 8th, 9th century. Pale people was going through something. And that wasn't the first time around. It kept recurring and recurring and recurring because why? People of color, they were not getting the message, the spiritual implications of all of this. And they don't realize through their actions there was spiritual what we call anyway, karma. All right, ramifications. That's the word I'm looking for. Well, Chief, it seems like you keep talking and talking and talking. I want to make sure that this makes sense to you. I want to make sure that you get this, that everything that's happening to us, it is because of our karma. It's because of our karma. All right. Now, not necessarily the American Aborigines per se, because that stuff wasn't happening here in the Americas. It was brought to the Americas. Okay? It was brought to the Americas. All right? So let's keep that in mind. All right. But guess what? Because our brothers and sisters did what they did in Africa and Asia when they came here, okay, we took part in it. Pale people was being enslaved here in the Americas too. So we have to know the true history of all that. So when these so-called pale people or pale children, okay, were not civilized, they were not taught the culture, guess what? They became black. You see, I told you, there's a madness to everything that I teach. Now we are getting to some foundation right here, right? Where, well, you're like, well, Chief, where are you going with all of this? That's where I'm going. These children were considered black, not in color of the skin, but in their characteristics, their nature. Because you see, when a mother have a child, the father and the mother, particularly the mother, they nurture that child. These children, these people were not nurtured. So they had no nature. Their nature was robbed away from them. Okay? It was robbed away from them. So hence, these pale people were considered black. Not in complexion, but black in characteristics, in their actions. They were cannibals. Now, you may ask, well, a lot of people are cannibals, even people of color. You may say, Chief, what are you talking about? You're crazy. No, a cannibal is one who eats human flesh. Right? But guess what? Guess what a human is? A human is a monster. A human is an animal. So all of you who eat meat, you are actually cannibals. But I'll break that down in another video. Okay? I'll break that down in another video. This is for another time. Let's get back to topic right now. Okay? So these pale people, these pale children, that their nature was robbed away from them, they were shunned. They were called savages. They were not part of the society because they looked different. They were shunned. They were banned. Okay? They were exiled from their parents. So therefore, they became black. They became savages because they did not know anything else. All right, boom. Which brings us into the etymology of the word black. All right? And I've done this before, but we're going to do it again because I have to keep proving this to you. All right, let's go. Michael Westbrook, Wagwan, Elias, respect, Gunel or Gunil. If I pronounce your name incorrectly, I apologize. Just giving you a shout out. Okay, so let's go with black. We're not going to go with the first part, black, German, blah, 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 blah. But we're going to go, it says to shine, to burn, was that swat. We're going to look at where the word came from, the foundation of the word. So as you could see, black came from the word swat. But before we go into the foundation of the root of the word, we're going to look at what it means. Black means what? Pale. Okay? So the people that you are actually calling white today, they're actually the real black people. Now, again, don't let this confuse you. It has nothing to do with this. It has nothing to do with the hue. They were talking about characteristics, moral characteristics. These people were robbed from their morality because they were not taught that. No one taught them. They had to teach themselves until they were taken out of the situation and taught civilization. But what these humans, these so-called people of color, what they didn't know was, guess what? You forgot karma because you were actually in your low vibrational state and you were not in a high spiritual sense of elevation, and you forgot that everything that you do is going to come back to you. So you want to know why so-called pale people had to be on top? That is because life is fear. Life is fear. You see, the lessons that I teach, it's more than just coming to teach you about knowledge of books and history. No, I'm teaching you about spirituality, morality. I'm teaching you about the heavenly realm, the mental realm. I'm teaching you how to become the Christ, okay, which is the highest title of any title in this physical realm. You feel me? You have to be moral. It doesn't matter what you do in life. I don't care what status you call yourself. You have to be moral because everything that you do will come back to you, because that's where the God of karma comes in. So these so-called black people didn't realize that, hey, all what we are doing right now is going to come back to us. But guess what? It was part of the prophecy. It was part of the experience. It was inevitable, if I may. Okay? So, with that being said, black, the people you call white today, guess what? They are the real black people, or they were. Okay, some of them still are. Okay, because a lot of them right now are raising their vibrations and raising their frequency, so they're no longer black. And I'm going to show you exactly what black means. You see? And I'm going to show you why and how indigenous people of the Americas accepted and took on the curse of the pale man, which is black. You see that? Because you didn't realize that was your karma. Let's proceed. Now that we know, and it's facts, irrefutable facts, that black means pale, and the people that you're calling white today, they are actually black. So when you see Caucasian people or pale people painting their face black and y'all get mad in your emotions, oh, they're making mockery of black people. No, they are telling you the truth. But y'all are just so ignorant, you don't even know. And when people teach you, you look at them like they're the crazy ones. I know a lot of you might say, oh, well, Chief, now you're the crazy one. It's okay. Crazy people change the world. Okay, so when they have the black faces, I smile. I say, yes, thank you for showing me that you know who you truly are. But once again, this has nothing to do with me talk. It's not an ethnic war. That's not what this is about. That's not what I'm promoting. I'm teaching you the foundational truth of the of color in terms of white, black. Okay, I'm teaching you that truth. All right, so let's look at where the word black came from. The word black came from Swat, and let's see what Swat means. The root word for black is Swat, because black has nothing to do with color in respect to people. All right, Swat, here we go. What does it say? Black being of dark hue, okay, in reference to night clouds, etc. What does it say? It says figurative, wicked, infamous, right? And it also says dirty, dirty. So you see, black is wicked, infamous, and dirty. You feel me? We are talking about energy now. We are talking about characteristics. We are talking about morality. That's what black really means. Wicked, infamous, dirty. Swat. And guess where SWAT comes from? We could even take it further. It came from sordid. All right? Sordid. So that's why I tell myself, people like Umar Johnson, I'm always going to call his name, is an agent. Because if you claim to be such a scholar and you don't know that basic information and you continue to call original indigenous people black, then you're working for the system. They are paying you to indoctrinate our people and continue to have them accepting the curse, which is the curse of the pale man, which is the real black people. All right, let us proceed. Sordid, it says, of a bodily sore, festering, shabby, dirty, filthy. Now, what does it say? Bodily sore. Let's go back to the Bible. When I think, was it Moses? I think when Moses married that woman that was not of his clan, what happened? His sister, okay, got mad. And what happened? She got leprosy, which is what? Bodily sore. She became sordid, pale. Okay? So from the very inception, pale skin was actually considered a disease, a curse. Again, not that it was, that's what they called it, because due to ignorance, because they did not comprehend the things of the spirit. What you have to realize is the physical mind cannot comprehend things of the spirit. And that's why they tell you only utilize 10% of your brain, but they're only talking about your conscious mind. Your conscious mind. Your frontal lobe is where I would say it interprets, it's programmed to think certain ways. And I'm going to do a video on that, on the mind, the frontal lobe, and how does it apply to what's happening with us today. I'm going to do a video on that, but that's another lesson. We're going to stick to the curse of the pale man, which is black people, right? So as you could see, SWAT means a bodily sore, as in leprosy, okay? Dirty, filthy, vile, mean, base. So these children, because they were not taught morality, because they were not natured, they became sordid, okay? They were not born that way. That was not their nature. It was learned behavior, okay? It was learned behavior. And for you, all you ignorant people, okay, that, oh, well, the so-called white man is the devil. Well, once again, if the so-called white man came from your womb, then who was the first devil? You see, me, I like to keep things real, okay? When I deal with ality. If you don't know what that means, go look at go look at some past videos within the past month or two. Then you'll know what ality means opposed to reality. I deal with ality, the truth. You feel me? So with that being said, these people were considered sordid, SWAT, black, they were wicked, infamous, savages. They were the first savages. Why do you think when karma took place, they started calling who? The original people, they started calling them what? Savages, black. Because guess what? That was your karma. That was your karma. You think you could just go around doing anything to anybody in this world and think that's not going to come back to you? You got to be, again, ignorant or stupid. It is really that simple. The very simple law, what does it say? Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Did y'all forget that part? And once again, I'm not here to give the pale man a pass. I'm just here to teach you the truth. So the reason why you're going through what you're going through is because of your own actions in the past. It's not because your skin is black. No, it's because it's your karma. And you're supposed to go through the karma. Everybody who manifested here in this physical realm is supposed to go through the karma. Period. Whether it's a good karma, bad karma, indifferent, it doesn't make a difference. It's all part of the experience. Okay, so black is a curse, and black is pale, and that was the curse of the pale man. The curse of the pale man. But you see, in life, life is fair. Life is very fair. And that's why they're on top right now. I just broke it down to you from a heavenly, spiritual, mental realm. It was their turn because they first took the karma of going through the state of immorality to that degree. That's why you saw when the tides had to change. In other words, it was an arc of descension and then once again ascension. And when you look at the cusp of the ascension, in other words, the reverse around 2012, what happened? You start seeing a lot of Caucasian people started talking about vegan and organic. What do you mean vegan and organic? I grew up with that. In the islands, that's all I knew. We didn't call it organic or vegan. No, that's all we knew because I was still natured. I was still a man of moral characteristics. That's how I was raised. So that whole organic thing, anyway, it is what it is. But the point I'm making is this, right? That was a new experience in terms of ascension to the pale race. It was all new. You feel me? So with that being said, they had, again, the whole curse of the pale man. Old people did not call ourselves black. James Brown played a part in that. And I'm not mad at James Brown because that was part of his purpose. Part of his purpose was to make sure that the karma, okay, that the original people had to face or deal with, it had to come into fruition. It had to manifest. That's why he said what? Be black and be proud. In other words, be proud of taking up the curse, the pale relief, the burden of the curse from the pale man. My brothers and sisters, I hope you're getting this. I know it might seem a little bit drowned out. I know it might seem a little bit long-winded, but I want you to truly understand these things, not just from a physical perspective, but from a heavenly, mental, spiritual realm. Why did these things happen to people such as ourselves? We couldn't escape that. No one could escape the karma. All right? But since the prophecy has been fulfilled, and now that everybody, not just so-called people of color, but everybody is now on the ascending arc for those who are supposed to ascend, right? Then that curse has to be lifted. It was taken off the pale race. Because why? So-called black people took the curse. They took the curse of the pale man because you were supposed to. Why were you supposed to? Because it was your responsibility as the mother and fathers of the pale race. And even if we in the Americas had nothing to do with that, our brothers and sisters on the other side, it was literally their burden. But when they came and mixed in with our people, which we were not supposed to mix in with them, I'm not talking about pale-skinned people. I'm talking about these so-called Negroes that came from the other side. When we mixed in with them, guess what? We contaminated our bloodline. So now Peter paid for Paul. Man, I tell people sometimes this is so easy. I get it. Okay? I get it. So because we mixed in with them, okay, part of their inheritance became part of our inheritance. Part of their curse became part of our curse. And that's why everybody had to deal with the karma, because that was part of the prophecy of taking up the curse from the pale man and giving him the status of being called white. White means pure. White means free. White means that you have more morality. Okay? So that's what happened. So what we have to do now, we have to let go of that curse and stop calling ourselves black. It's a curse. It's the curse of the pale man. We don't necessarily have to give it back to him. Because if we give it back to him, guess what? That means it has to come back to us again. Everything that you do, everything that we do, okay, it has to come back. So we have to eradicate, we have to get rid of that word, period, of calling anyone black or the pale curse. We have to relieve that off of everybody in order to move forward. Now, a lot of you, again, may not get this because you are in your emotions. You think Caucasians, so-called white people, are your enemies because you just don't know. So I forgive you for that. You feel me? But you're not going to give back the curse, okay? Because it was yours in the first place. Okay? It was yours in the first place. So now we have to get rid of it by doing what? Adjusting your status. When we did the video, part 1 and part 2, I showed you in the Black's Law Dictionary what status meant. Your position or condition. And yours right now is the curse of the pale man, which is black. You are not the black people, or you are not the black people. All right? So I hope that makes sense. All right? So now that we know for a fact that black is pale, keep that in mind. All right? Let me stop sharing. I have to spend a lot of time on this because I really wanted you to get this. All right? And I hope you are getting it, because to move forward, all right, to move forward, hold on for 1 second. What am I doing? It's canceled. Okay? To move forward, we have to truly get these things. All right? We have to get these things. Hold on for a second. A top tens was good. Invest in your business. What it is was good. Was good. All right, family first product podcast. What's going on? I appreciate you for being here. All right. So my brothers and sisters, I had to take my time and break that down. I know I kind of like went a little overboard. Maybe I did. Maybe I didn't. I don't know. In terms of trying to expound on this, but I had to, so that you get this. So before we move forward, let us summarize what we went through already. I showed you a video of Kanye West saying that we are not black, we are the Indians, we are the natives. But I beg to differ. Yes, Kanye is on point to a certain extent, but someone has to teach him a little more. And hopefully one day I'll be able to sit with him and we could have that conversation, right? Because there's a difference between Indian and native, and I'm also going to break that down in this lesson. That's why I said we're going to be here for at least an hour and a half to 2 hours. Okay, so let's proceed. So breaking that down. So now I wanted to tackle why we are not black and who was black, the real black people. The real black people are the people you're calling white people, and why the roles had to be reversed. The roles had to be reversed because of karma. Everything that you do will come back to you. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. You feel me? It is really that simple. If we had just kept to that simple natural law, it's a law of nature. It is not a 10 commandment. No, all these things existed before your Bible God. Okay? But the point I'm making is, it's do unto others as you would have them do unto you. It is really that, it's that simple. If we could just truly live just by that creed, we could raise the vibration of Mother Earth. I mean, literally overnight. It is not about so-called people of color versus pale-skinned people, no, we are actually all one. All right. We are just different characteristics or manifestation, first of the higher self as people of hue, and them as the lower self of colorless people, if I use that term, because everyone has color. You feel me? So they are literally our reflection in our lower self, and we are their reflection in our higher self. That was back then, okay, in the degeneration process. But now that we are ascending, it makes no difference because we have to go back to being one. All right. And for those of you who can't get this, trust me, you are not woke. You think you woke. You're not spiritual in a sense of being woke. You're not. Okay? You're living an illusion. All right? Let us go. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to continue to tap on that black here for. So we're going to go to another source. All right? Here we are. Definition for black. All right, and that's from another Webster's dictionary. What does it say? Sax, black, Blake, black, pale. All right, you see that? Black means pale. So once again, to reiterate, the people that you call white, they are actually black. Biden is black. Yeah. All right. The Clintons are black. All the so-called white people you see in Hollywood on the screen, they are black. They all know the truth. They know that you took the curse away from them because you were supposed to. That's why the curse of the mother and father had to fall on the children. Now you see what the Bible is talking about. See, y'all don't get it. And in other aspects of the Bible, it's saying that the sins of the children, of the fathers, the children will not pay for it. Okay? Because there's two bloodlines. Those who remain righteous, they will not pay for the sins of their fathers. But the unrighteous ones, yes. So it is not contradicting when you know the truth. Okay? So black means pale. To become pale, to turn white, to become black, to blacken, Blake ink, pale, one, livid. All right? Now, what does it say here? Of color of night, destitute of night, darkened by clouds, sullen, having a cloudy, atrociously wicked. Don't matter where you go, look at an etymology of the word black. It has to do with being swat or sordid, wicked, infamous, dirty, filthy. Why would you want to be that? And it's not because of the color of your skin. It is because of the energy of the word, the vibration and the frequency of the word. Okay? So that's why I tell you, so-called scholars who claim to be scholars and they're out here calling you black is because they are being paid to do so. They don't want you to relieve yourself of the curse of the pale man. And guess what? They are the heavy influencers. You see, my videos are struggling to get to 2,000 because they are literally shutting me down. And I know that. I got 28,000 subscribers. And you're trying to tell me that my recent videos that I've been doing, none of them could even touch 1,000 views? Now something ain't right. But it's okay though, because who is supposed to get the message, they will get it. Because you see, I'm not doing this for likes. I'm doing this for the people that are ready for the truth. All right? So that's what it means. It says, dismal, mournful, as in mourning, mournful, calamitous. All those words are negative connotations. Why would you want that energy attached to your being? My people, you got to let go of the pale, the black, the curse of the pale man. I'm not saying give it back to him. It wasn't his in the first place. You gave it to him because you disowned him. You disowned your pale children. And then what did you do? You brought your curse here into the Americas. And of course, by the time they came here in 1492, the American Aborigines, our ancestors, were already on a declining arc because even we had to go through our karma. And I broke that down in the book. Our karma was a little bit different. Our karma was because we were the first, we had to become the last. And guess what? Guess who was the last? We were. Even real Africans come here and they are not dealing with what we're dealing with. Why? Because we were the last. We had to become the last because why? We were the first. Africans were not the first people on the planet, but that might go over some heads. Prophecy is being fulfilled, but a lot of you just too blind to see it. Okay, so let us proceed. Okay. Next, We are going to go into Black's Law Dictionary, and we are going to deal with that as well. Okay? Big focus while I go on. We have my sister Denise, Rasta Empress, while I go on. Michael Westbrook, what the deal is. All right? This is Sunday school, man. Y'all welcome to the real knowledge. All right? Let's go to Noah Webster's 1820 dictionary, and let's look at, again, black. All right? Of course, they always, attribute black to hue. Of course, it's a color, so yes, it's hue, but not as in human, but it's hue, because all hue means is color. Okay? But let us go to, what does it say? Number 4, what does it say? Another dictionary. Okay, what does it say? Atrociously wicked, horrible, as in black deed or crime, dismal, mournful, calamitous. Okay? You feel me? So once again, I am showing you and proving to you that black has nothing to do with the color of your skin. It's an energy, it's a frequency, it's a vibration, and it's a curse. It is the curse of the pale man. Okay? The curse of the pale man equals black people. But once again, we had to relieve the curse. Okay? It's like the prodigal son coming home. And when the prodigal son came home, the curse had to be relieved, and the parents had to take back the curse and deal with their what? We deal with their karma. But because the prophecy is fulfilled, it has come into completion. Okay? Then everybody will have to give up that status of being black or pale. Okay? And go back to as us, American Indian and white, but everybody is white, pure, with morals, righteous. Y'all get it, huh? I hope you get it. See, I'm giving it to you from a spiritual, mental realm, heavenly realm, and I'm giving it to you of the physical, because why? So as above, so is below. We cannot talk of the physical without talking of the spirit. And most people, like I said, okay, they do not comprehend things of the spirit, the heavenly mental realm, because they're only accessing only 10% of their what we call consciousness. Okay, 90% of your consciousness is your subconsciousness that deals with the frontal lobe. And like I said, I will do another video with that, okay, and break that down for y'all. But let us proceed. So now you could see in the Webster's 1820 dictionary what black still means: wicked, infamous. So in the system of the corporation, which is the New Eden, okay, the New Eden, which is the United States, because it was created on paper, okay. That whole corporation, it was a new creation that was created. I did videos before that breaking that down. Okay, they had to create again a new slave for that karma, and that was your karma of being called black or even African American is the same thing. So you have to, well, you don't have to. If you want to continue to perish, if you want to continue to be diseased, if you want to continue to be the worst of the worst, then continue to call yourself black. Dirty, filthy, sordid, calamitous, immoral. Because that's what you are in the system. That's what you are in the garden, aka the corporation that was created. You feel me? You see, the cursed people had to be kicked out of the garden. Y'all get this, huh? The cursed people had to be kicked out of the garden. All right? But for them to become whole again, they had to come back into the garden. They had to come back home. But that's for another video. All right? So let's proceed. Then what I was showing you here, all right? I was actually showing you this in Webster's 1820 dictionary. Let me just give you a quick view of that. I thought I was sharing it. My apologies. All right, here we go. All right. So the next thing we're going to do is, okay. So now we have gone through black. Kanye talked about that. Kanye said we are not black. He know exactly what he's talking about. All right. So I explained to you and taught you who the real black people are. The real black people are the pale people, or they were the pale people. All right. Now, if they are ascending on a higher vibration, a higher frequency, a lot of people that are so-called white, pale people, they are no longer black or pale. Because why? They have raised their frequency. So they are no longer black or pale. I have to make sure you comprehend this. You see, I'm not going to give them back the curse because I know if I do that and I know the truth, I'm bringing what? A karma towards me. My brothers and sisters, this game is serious. And if you don't get this, you're going to continue to go through this perpetual cycle of slavery because you are not studied. Therefore, you are not being proved. We cannot call every so-called Caucasian or so-called white individual pale or black. No, a lot of them have paid the price. A lot of them have, or they have already been crucified, and therefore they too become the Christ. You see, y'all got to get this. Okay? Y'all got to get this. Because a lot of them are speaking the truth. A lot of them are teaching, helping to save Mother Earth, teaching about eating properly. They are no longer pale. They are no longer black. They have repented. Mm. I hope you get this. Where's your repentance at? Because you're still out here wicked, infamous, immoral. You are truly black. Because that's what it means. So if you are black, you are black. It has nothing to do with the color of your skin. It's about your moral compass. And some of you are black. So this message is not for every so-called individual of hue, oh, well, you're not black. No, some of you are black. Because you're wicked, you're dirty, you're filthy, you're infamous, and you know yourself. I ain't got to point you out. You know yourself. So you are black, but I'm not. All right. And when it comes to skin complexion and when it comes to my moral compass, learn the difference. All right. So we're going to talk about now Indians. All right. Indians, and then we'll talk about native. So the first thing we're going to do is this. Now we're talking about political status. We're talking about inheritance. That's what we're talking about right now. Okay. We're talking about a caste system, as in CASTE. American Indian is a caste system. All right. So we're talking about that now. The original indigenous people that were found here in the Americas were all coined American Indian. Now, a lot of people think that American Indian was a mistake. No, it wasn't a mistake. They were called Indians because the Americas were called Nova India, the new India. Okay? Because what they didn't realize is that there was another part of 1/4 of the world that had not been discovered on a global scale, and that was the American continent, which was one America. They just divided it into a north and a south part, but it's still one America, one continent. Okay, so back then, even in 450 BC, a Herodotus map clearly pointed that out. They only had Europe, Asia, and Libya. The name Africa wasn't even invented yet. Okay? But when they're looking at things from, again, from a geological perspective, it was assumed and presumed that America was part of Asia, as in Asia Major and not Asia Minor. So therefore, they were still considered Indians, Indians of the West. Okay. So we're looking at Indians. So let's get into Webster's Noah's 1828 dictionary in regards to the word or the term Indian. Okay. Let us proceed. All right. So we're about an hour in. We have a little more to go. Indian. What does it say? Adjective from India, and this from Indus, the name of the river in Asia pertaining to either of the Indies, east or west. What they're not telling you is this: we are the West Indians and there is the East Indians. It all deals with the Indus River. You see, they change names for things to let you know that all this, even the Indus, is associated with the American continent. Okay? And the Western aspect of it is called West Indies, and the Eastern is called the East Indies. That's why these two companies had to be created to take over both continents, the East Indian Company and the West Indian Company. All right? Indian, a general name of many native of the Indies, as in the East Indian or the West Indian. It is particularly applied to a native of what? The American continent. Interesting. Okay. It says a plant of genus, plant of this, plant of that, plant of this. We don't have to get into all that, but we are looking at now where it says as a noun. You see, an adjective describes a noun, but a noun is the name of a person, place, name, person, animal, place, or thing. So therefore, the noun Indian is applied to what? To the native of the American continent. So lawfully, legally, politically, yes, we are, and geographically, we are the West Indians. But I'll expound on that a little more, and I'll prove that to you from even the congressional records. All right, let us proceed. Next. Next, we are going to go into openjust.org. It's a law dictionary. Okay? And all these links are in this. I put it in the description for you because I like to put things out there so people could see. I don't want to just, put things and don't tell you the source. So as you can see on the right side, it says Black's Law Dictionary, 2nd edition, 1910. Now we're dealing with a law dictionary, right? A law dictionary. Let's proceed. What does it say? Indians. Black's Law Dictionary, 2nd edition. Definition: the aboriginal inhabitants of North America. And guess what? There is a case law that says that. I tell people, man, this is not a game. It is not a game. It is coded in law that we are the American Indians. It is coded in treaties that we are the American Indians. All right? We haven't gotten to the native aspect of things yet. We still coming. We got some things to go. We got some ways to go. So if you look at Frazee versus Spokane County, 29 Wash 278, 69 pass or pack 782, it tells you that the aboriginal inhabitants of America, Frazee versus Spokane, guess what? They are Indians. In case law. All right? It says Indian country. This term does not necessarily import territory owned and occupied by Indians, but it means all those portions of the United States designated by this name in the legislation of Congress. And that's another case law, Waters versus Campbell. Next, Indian tribe, a separate and distinct community or body. You see that word community? Community. A body. You see, a body has different parts: arms, nose, ears, eyes, nose, etc., etc., etc. A body is not a single unit, but now y'all just want to continue to be individuals. Why you think you're not rising? A community, okay? The ability to come together as a unit to commune. That's what a community is. But now you want to have neighborhoods. So what does it say? A separate and distinct community or body of what? Aboriginal Indians. Aborigines, original, whichever term you want to use, race of men found in the United States. And guess what? There's another case law. Montoya versus US, that 180, etc., etc. The Cherokee Nation versus Georgia. We are the Aboriginal Americans, as in they are Aboriginal Australians. All right, let's proceed. Next, we are going to go into the, give me 1 second here. Let me share this with you. Here we are, the West Indies and what it includes. All right, and this we could find in the Library of Congress. Oh, hold up, Chief, you're talking about in the Library of Congress, they got this stuff? Yes. Study to show thyself approved. Okay, let's read. It says, the West Indies, including parts of Virginia. Yes, Virginia is part of the West Indies on paper. North Carolina, East Florida. Well, Florida was already part of the Caribbean. The entire Florida was part of the Caribbean, just like how Texas, California, all that was part of Mexico. All right. But anyway, that's neither here or there. But we're talking about the West Indies. Okay. We have included parts of Virginia, North Carolina, East Florida, South Carolina, West Florida, Georgia, Louisiana, the Gulf of Mexico, with parts of the coast of South America, from the Bay of Honduras to the mouth of the river Orinoco River, from the latest and best authorities and actual observations. So we are all West Indians. We have to take back the West. That's why they showed you in the movies that the cowboys were taking over the West. Who were they fighting? They were fighting Indians. I promise you, anybody challenge me on this. Man, listen, let me see how much I got in my pocket right now. I'm gonna make a bet with you right now. I got 30 cents in my pocket right now. 30 cents. I'll make a bet with you. Go to any Western movie, all right, anyone, and get at least, I'm saying 5. No, that's too much. Now, get at least 2 Western movies, cowboy movies. At least 2. I only want 2. It's a 30 cents bet. If I win, each and every one of you that see this video, give me 30 cents. All right. And if you win, I'm going to give each and every one of you 30 cents. Show me at least, you know what? I got to be a little careful here, because 30 cents times a lot of people is a lot of money. So at least 5. All right. That, just being funny. But at least 5 movies where the cowboys call the indigenous people natives. I'll wait. They were always called Indians. Indians. Okay? So when they were taking the West, they were not just talking about Texas. No, they were talking about the West Indies taking over the Americas. It is all symbolic. Okay? They were not called natives. The cowboys were fighting Indians. When you was growing up, it wasn't cowboy and natives, it was cowboy and Indians. Who do you think the Indians are? We got more to go. Okay? Now, and they're showing a map of the entire West Indies, pretty much the entire Americas, including North and South America. They just have to create 2 companies. And the company that was created to literally take over North America, which subsequently took over all the Americas, was the Virginia Company. And we're going to get into that shortly. All right. Next. All right. Boom. Here we are. We are going to go into a map in 1595. 1595. Brother Robert Moore, what's going on, brother? India Nova, the new India. That was in 1595. Look at the price of this map. Y'all think it's a game. You see, all of this stuff here, I give it to you for free. I don't ask you for donations. I don't do anything. Because you know what? My rewards come from my ancestors, our ancestors. All right? And they make sure that I'm provided for. They make sure that I have everything in abundance. All I just say is, hey, you know what? Go get the book, man. It's needed. It's needed. Okay? But look at the price of this map. $6,500. Knowledge is not free. Freedom. To be free and sovereign is not free. For those of you who think it's free, you don't. That's why it's called freedom. You see what I'm saying? Anybody got $6,500 to go get this? I ain't got it. But I'm just saying. You see how much this map is? India Nova, the new India, the Americas. That's why we're called Indians. Because when they realized what they thought was the entire world, it was just Asia, Europe, and Libya, they realized further east of Asia, there's a whole new world. Another part of so-called Asia, India, superior. And I'm going to prove that to you because they thought it was the Garden of Eden. Y'all think it's a game, huh? All right. So check this out. This map right here. Now, when we click on this map, you will see right here, right below. I'm trying to see if I could kind of pull this up. Here we go. What does it say? Right here, all the way to the right in the bottom. What does it say? America. What it says, true India Nova. What does it say? True India. America is the real India. But of course, Nova India means new India. But the true new India, that's what it's saying. You see right here. I'm not making this up. Right here. Look. Right here. America True India Nova. This map right now is literally $6,500. You see that? Here we go. And I put all the links in the description for you because I don't want you to think I'm making this up. Okay? You see that? Right here. Okay? So yes, Columbus didn't make a mistake. Columbus knew he was going to India, just a different part of, he was going to Asia, so to speak. It was just a different part of Asia, which was India, what they call India Major. I don't want to confuse you. Not that I'm saying America's Asia. All I'm just saying is at that time, and when they were traveling, based on the knowledge that they had, okay, it was only Asia, Europe, and Libya. But the further they traveled, they realized, whoa, we're still going through Asia and there's still land. So we're going to call that new land that we found Nova India, because they thought they were still in the East Indies. But the further they go west, they realize, hold up, that's a whole new continent. Let's just call it India Major, which is West Indies. West India, the new India. I hope that makes sense. Okay? Stop sharing now. Now, if you're getting all this and all this is resonating or not, it doesn't make a difference. I'm just giving you the information. Do me a favor, drop some sevens in the chat right now. Let me know that you're still with me. I don't want you to go to sleep on me now, okay? All right. So drop some sevens in the chat real quick, and let's get down to some business. You heard? All right. Now we're going to go into the Black's Law Dictionary. We're going to keep diving into Indians because we heard Kanye say, hey, you know what? We are not black. We're Indians. We are the natives. Like I said, I beg to differ. I'm breaking that down. I dealt with black and the reason why he know we are not black. Okay. And I'm dealing with Indians now, and we're going to go to native next. So do me a favor, drop some sevens in the chat real quick. I appreciate that, Brother William Mosley. Eternal Messages, Coach Gang, Family First, much respect. All right, let us go ahead and look at Black's Law Dictionary. You see, we're dealing with legal things now. We're dealing with lawful things now. There are even court cases that talk about the Aboriginals. Who are these people? They're not the natives. And I'm going to continue to prove that. Okay? Check this out. Indians, Black's Law Dictionary, 2nd edition. What does it say? The Aboriginal inhabitants of North America. It goes back to that same law. Frazee versus Spokane. All right, which we went over the last time. All right, so it's also in that part of, but it's basically the same thing. I just went to another source to get it, but it's still from the Black's Law Dictionary. All right. So I kind of showed it twice. My bad on that. You feel me? All right. So what we're gonna do now at this time, we know that who the Indians are. We know who the American Indians are. We know who the West Indians are. So who are the natives? Okay. And we talked about the West Indies, right? The West Indians. That's why they have to show you in movies. You see, the movies is not a coincidence. What they show you in a movie is not so that you become conscious of it. No, it is because they're giving you these visuals. Okay, they're giving you these visuals so that it will be embedded in your subconscious, because your subconscious is what truly creates your reality, or what we call your ality, not your reality. Your conscious mind creates your reality, but your conscious mind is where ality dwells. So 90% of your consciousness is ality. But a lot of us, or you, don't have access to it because you don't meditate. You don't get into your subconscious mind. What sub means? Sub means beneath, below, under the consciousness. In other words, under what's revealed already. But because we are in revelation, you are supposed to be able to tap into your subconscious. In other words, go below, okay, and able to access things that have been hidden from you. The other 90%, you are supposed to be able to take information from that. Okay? But because you are so bombarded with distractions, the movies, the illusions that's been imprinted, they make it imprints. Whenever you see something, it's an image, it's a frame. That's why when you see things in frames. But to see the bigger picture, it's thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of frames that make a picture, a motion picture. That's why they say a picture what tells 1,000 words, because in each picture there are frames. Each frame is a story. So they took all these frames and put it in motion, and now it's imprinted in your subconscious via your frontal lobe. So now your reality, when you start seeing Indians as the people they call the natives, then you lost knowledge of who you are. Not because you don't know, you just forgot. Because of what's being imprinted in your subconscious mind. It changed your reality. It changed your ality, pardon me, and gave you a new reality. You think these things were not done intentionally? Yes, it was. People could change your entire life by impregnating images in your mind that goes into your subconscious, and then the subconscious, it deals with looking for things to become real. It deals with the morality of things. So once your subconscious tells you it's real, then guess what? The conscious is going to perceive it as being real. So now I'm tapping into your subconscious, okay, and relieving you of all these false illusions. Because they did not talk about cowboy and natives, they talk about cowboy and Indians. Cowboy and Indians. And I've given you many videos to prove to you who the Indians are. Okay, so we're going to go into native right now. Native. Native. Maxine, what's going on? Maxine Russell, big up yourself. All right. We're going to go into the same Black's Law Dictionary, and we're going to see who a native are. These people are truly native. Why do you think they want to get rid of the term American Indian? And they want to just use indigenous or native? Well, I've already broken down what all this means. For the purpose of this video, I'm putting everything together. Now let's go into Black's Law. We're dealing with law right now. Okay. We saw what Indian means. Indian means aboriginal, an original native. The only time to use native is when you say an original native or an aboriginal native, which implies original and not just born. Okay? So, with that being said, let's look at what it means. Native in Black's Law Dictionary. You see, you have to deal with these things from a lawful perspective. Okay, check this out. A natural born subject. What does it say? A natural born subject or citizen. Oh, chief, don't expose them like that. Don't expose them like that. I don't think they're ready for that. Hmm? What does it say in the Black's Law Dictionary? It says a natural born subject or citizen. Let's proceed. A denizen. We're going to go into that word denizen right now. Okay, by birth. By birth. Remember, I did the video. You see, there's always a madness to what I teach. No one knows their birthday unless you know exactly the time, the date, the second your mother and father was in that bed. You only know your arrival date. So everything that was created on the birth certificate, it is not a natural being. It is an artificial being. A natural being was born when the sperm met the egg. But when you came out of your mothership, that is the arrival date. The arrival date was given a name, hence the name on your birth certificate, hence the name on your driver's license and all your IDs. But it is not a lawful form of ID. Why? Because if you take a birth certificate and the police pull you over and the police say, hey, who are you? Let me get your identification. You say, here, officer. What is this? My birth certificate. What do you mean? That's not a form of ID. Well, officer, why not? All the IDs came from this. So why isn't the mother of the ID an ID? It's all fraud. It's all fraud. So if this is not me, then why is this me? When this came from this. You see, it's all fraud. It was all a whole new creation that was created. So therefore, this natives, where are you going with this, chief? This natives was created on paper. They are a creation of the United States, the corporation, as per Title 28, subsection 3002, subsection 15, capital A. Go look it up. Just like how you were created again from the birth certificate. So therefore, a natural born subject or citizen, a denizen by birth, one who owes his domicile to a citizenship to the fact of his birth within what the country referred to. Example, United States. The term may also include one what? Born abroad if his parents were then citizens of the country and not permanently residing in foreign parts. And guess what? We have case laws. U.S. versus Wong Kim Ark. You feel me? So you have American Indians and you have Native Americans, but they are not Americans. They are Native United States citizens. There's only one American, and you're looking at one right here. Only one American. Okay? Everybody else is native in terms of when they're talking about they're the original people. They were created by the United States. Facts over feelings. Okay, let's read this again. Not the entire thing, but a natural born subject. Yes, you could be naturally born, but you become a subject once you get that contract, birth certificate. Okay, or a citizen, a denizen by birth. Let's go look at that word denizen or denizen. Okay, let us proceed. Y'all gonna get this work. Y'all are going to get this work. Okay, you're gonna get this work, man. Next, let's hear the pronunciation of the word.
Denizen.
Denizen. What does it say? An inhabitant or occupant of a particular place. So that's all native means. Anybody is a native. Everybody in the United States is a native if you're born here. But not everybody's an Aboriginal. Not everybody's an American Indian. See the difference? So that's where I defer from Kanye West and what he said in the video. But he's absolutely correct. We are not black. We are the American Indians, but we are also original natives. Okay, original natives. That's the only time I will use native to apply to myself when I use the term original native, as in point of origin, autochthonous, autochthon, sprung from the land. Okay, meaning that my ancestors were here from time immemorial. Okay, let us proceed. Next, we are getting there. We got a couple more slides to go. Yeah. Go back. So now, which brings us to indigenous. Now, I've already broken that down. You'll realize a lot of native people, okay, they like using the term indigenous and native because why? They have to get away from the term Indian because they are not the American Indians. Even if the illusion was promoted in the Western movies that they were the Indians, that was the illusion to play on your subconscious mind, to imprint in your mind that you are not the original people. So they had to give you a visualization that impregnates your subconscious mind. And later, once they start teaching that you're from Africa, it will make sense because now your conscious mind is going to go back deep into your subconscious mind and be like, hold up, I thought I was the Indian. I know my grandmother told me I was the Indian, but that's not what the movie says. That's not what Roots says. You see, Roots, all those things, they gave you that to impregnate in your subconscious mind that you are not who you are. You see how powerful the subconscious mind is? Because the subconscious mind was given a whole new reality. Why? Through propaganda, through repetition. They have to show you Roots a million times. They have to show you these Western movies a million times. Because they are shaping a new reality for you and me. That's how powerful the mind is. They could make you a whole new person and convince you that you're somebody else. The power of suggestion. It's a mother. Okay, let us look at indigenous, which we did before, but for the purpose of this lesson, check this out. Indigenous, what does it say? Born or what? Can anybody tell me or point it out or type it out? Born or what? What does it say in the etymology of the word indigenous? It says born or what? Let me see if you're still with me. Can anybody point it out real quick? Just one individual. Point it out real quick. What does it say? Born or what? See, this is interactive. You know what I mean? I want you to be involved. Can anybody point it out real quick? Thank you. Thank you, Mahogany X. Originating. So you see, when it comes to the word indigenous, it has two meanings. So therefore, when you use the word indigenous, don't just use indigenous. If you say indigenous American Indian, then it means originating because there's only one American Indian. There's only one American. That's us. Everybody else are United States citizens. Everybody else are immigrants. Okay? So born or originating. So these, especially the UN, most people that go to the UN in terms of talking about indigenous, they're all pale-skinned people. That's why the UN said, hey, you know what? Well, we can't determine who's indigenous. It's up to the individual because there's a void to be filled. And if there's a void to be filled, I did a video on that. Then guess what? In this physical realm, no space could stay unoccupied. Even the air is filled with air. So if there's a void to be filled and the original people are not stepping up, then guess what? Somebody else has to be in their place. That is the native people. Okay? So when they say they're indigenous, they're not lying. Stop hating on them. You are the one that just don't know what you're talking about. Okay? They know it's all wordplay, all technology. So they are born, which means native. I just showed you what native means in Black's Law Dictionary. So let us proceed and let's continue. It says, born or originating in a particular place. But guess what it says? Born in a country means native. You see how they're breaking it down? From Latin, ingenious, sprung from land, native as a noun. Native literally means to be born, born in a place. But when you add original to it, it gives it a whole new connotation. They're talking about the origines, aborigines. and we are the Aborigines. We are the American Indians, but we are also born and originating. So I would rather say we are originating but born when it comes to being manifested on the land. All right, we are almost there. Okay, now there's a book, page 8. I think I'm going to go back to page 8. I'm going to borrow that book real quick. Let me just show you real quick. All right, so we looked at indigenous, and there's a book called, give me 1 second. Let me see where we at. Give me 1 second, please. All right. Give me 1 second. Let me share this here with you. We almost done. I think I got 1 or 2 more slides to go through, and we'll be done. So we're doing good time. This book is on Internet Archive, right? I'm gonna borrow it real quick for the purpose of this video, and it's called Pocahontas. All right, the life and legend. Now, of course, I've been telling you Pocahontas was a woman of color for over 4 or 5 years, so that's nothing new. I've been doing this for a minute. All right. So I've been telling you that, like I said, for 4 or 5 years now. All that information is in my book. Pocahontas was a woman of color. Her father was a woman of color. I mean, her father, yes, was a man of color, not a woman, pardon me. Okay. So we are going to go. Let me just borrow the book real quick for an hour. Pocahontas, the life and legend. Okay. And I'm going to go all the way down, I think, to page 8. Let me just open that up real quick. And we're just going to do a little bit of reading real quick. Give me 1 second here. I think it's page 8. Give me 1 second. That's 5. All right, so we're going to read here. What page is this? Page 9. Okay. So we're going to start and do a little bit of reading. I'm not going to read the entire thing, okay? We're going to reach from chapter 1. Let me just bring this up some more, okay? And that's chapter 1. Chapter 1, to seek new worlds for gold, for praise, for glory, Sir Walter Raleigh. Okay, let's read a little bit. Landfall came on April 26, 1607. It came at the break of day, a fortunate circumstance for the 17th century mariners approaching an uncharted shore in cumbersome ships with unwieldy sails and rudimentary navigational instruments. And as it was especially unfortunate for his puny fleet of 3 small merchantmen, mustering scarcely 160 tons among them, so battered by storm in recent days that no one was sure of their whereabouts, and the least hardy souls aboard talked of turning back, of abandoning the voyage. But on the 6th and 20th day of April, about 4 o'clock in the morning, we descried, was supposed to be described, but they spell it as described. The land of Virginia, wrote Sir Judge Percy, the only nobleman in that company of a hundred odd English adventurers aboard. Even before the first light of dawn streaked water and sky, even before the lookout in the crow's nest of the flagship Susan Constant could not make out the low pine forested shore, Captain Christopher Newport, himself a redoubtable privateer, a premier commander of his time, could have sensed the loom of the land, the low-hanging clouds, the flurry and shrill of shore birds, the fragrance wafted far out to sea by bud, wild plum, wild cherry, carabapple, bayberry, grape, and the bog magnolia, especially aromatic in Virginia spring. That first breath of land would be especially sweet to nostrils crusty with brine after the 4 months and more of an Atlantic crossing. They all remarked upon the new continent. Philip Amadas and Arthur Balowi or Balau, captaining Sir Walter Raleigh's first American expedition in 1584, and coming onto the sounding of the Carolina outlying banks in June, breathed deep of that balmy air that smelled as sweet as the strong, as if were in a fragrant flower garden. The Italian Giovanni de Veracruz, on a French explanatory mission up that same Atlantic seaboard, some 60 years ahead of Raleigh, rhapsodized among those same most sweet sabors we floated out to him far from the shore. Laureate Michael Drayton must have been reading the logs of the explorers when he extolled the luscious smell of the delicious land in his Ode de Virginian voyage. At about at the top, pardon me, at the shout from the crowd's nest at the crack of dawn, the crew would have rushed from their pallets on the main deck to their stations to wrestle with the sails, to hand, to reef, to stir, while the 71 passengers on the flagship would have roused themselves out of uneasy sleep, out of the dark, dank 5 foot deep hold up onto the deck, unfastening their breeches as they jolted toward the rail to relieve their bladders over the side after the long night, to marvel at the sight of the land, the headlands of Virginia coast looming up ahead. Percy had probably suffered less discomfort from the others, as the eighth son of the ninth Earl of Northumberland, pardon me, he enjoyed a nobleman's privilege and may well have been space in one of the captain's 2 cabins, but he was no less exuberant. Now, I've done videos to show you who these nobles were when they came here. They were people of color, so please check those videos out. It's also in the book, Jennings' History Evaluation. I broke all of that down and showed you who these nobles are that came here at that time. Okay, they were people of so-called color. As he wrote in his diary, that same day we entered into the Bay of Chesapeake directly without let or hindrance. There were landed and discovered a little way, discovering fair meadows and goodly tall trees, with such fresh waters running through the woods as I was almost ravished at the first sight thereof. The first sight of the new world ravished them all the newcomers. Their excitement rings out across the pages of 16th and century chronicles, the pages of Huckler's principal voyages, and Pacha's pilgrims. Mariners and planters alike waxed lyrical about those gallant rivers, stately harbors, those crystal rivers and odoriferous woods. They were wonderstruck by the bounty as well as the beauty of that virgin shore, the goodly woods, the game, and the wild fowls in incredible abundance. Okay, remember in Genesis chapter 1, what? The people in Genesis chapter 1 had to what? Have dominion, and they had everything in abundance. They had everything in abundance. Pay attention. All right? We are not Adamites. We are pre-Adamites, Americans. Okay? The original Americans, we are pre-Adamites. We live in a world of abundance. All right? But anyway, that's just a side note. In the world, we're not like abundance. Okay? In the world, we're not like abundance. A quote Captain Amadas, coasting the Carolinas, already named Acadia by poetic Varazona. There was, let me see. There was poetry in Amadas' log. He noted that not only the treacherous reefs and shoals, but also the profusion of summer grapes, the water's edge to overgrown with grapes, that the surging waves flowed over them, and the spectacle of a flock of cranes, the most white, startling at the firing of a harquebus, taking wing from the water with such a cry as if an army of men had shouted all together. And remember, Varazona described the Americans, the original people, compared to Ethiopians in complexion. Let me ask you a question. Go to Ethiopia and show me any pale-skinned native that are actually Ethiopians. You will not see that. All right? So once again, the American Indians are people of color. Natives are the people that you see right now, created by the United States. Okay? Let us proceed. We have discovered the mainland to be what? Goodliest soil under the coat of heaven. Beside that, he continued, it is the godliest and most pleasing territory of the world. The original Garden of Eden. And when I say the original Garden of Eden, I'm not talking about the Garden of Eden in Genesis chapter 2. No. I'm talking about Genesis chapter 1, a land of abundance. Okay? A land of abundance. So what they did was they brought Genesis chapter 1 and Genesis chapter 2, and then people had to be kicked out of the garden and go create a whole new reality. A new God had to create a new reality. But the people in Genesis chapter 1 in the Americas, we live in ality. Ality. We live on earth. But a whole new world had to go be created. Again, all that stuff is broken down in the book. All right. So check this out. Lane's commander, Sir Richard Grenville, called it this paradise of the world. Columbus had thought he was, I'm speaking literally, when he called it a terrestrial paradise. In his letter to the sovereigns, written in 1498, from what he believed to be the remote, what? Perimeter of the Garden of Eden itself. Things that make you go, Let's read. He identified the Orinoco River as the Gihon. Let's read. One of the 4 rivers flowing out of Eden. To the Orthodox Christian's ear, of course, there was a tinge of hearsay in such suggestion that unredeemed man might have penetrated to even the edge of the terrestrial paradise. Have not the garden gate been barred to man after the fall, an angel with a flaming sword? Yes, the garden was barred from mankind, but not man. Chief, I don't know if they're ready for this, because we were already in the garden, but we had to bar the garden from mankind until it was time for mankind to come back home. Okay, because they had to go create a new world of reality where their God had to create a new world. But then they would come back later, okay, into the original garden, so that the original people that was there could face their karma to fall back into their lower selves, because we were the first, we had to become the last. Keep telling y'all, man, don't play with me, man. Let's read. All right. By another ancient notion, the way to the west had been barred by Hercules, sitting up his pillars at the Strait of Gibraltar, or according to Plato's fable, had been blocked by the yet another device of the gods by shoal of mud, where the lost continent of Atlantis had sunk and settled beneath the waters, for which reason the sea in those parts is impassable and impenetrable. Because why? They had to be barred from that world where of abundance, because you know why? They had to degenerate in order to fulfill the prophecy of going from your higher self to your lower self. But we had to stay in the Americas as the pure wild Indians of the wilderness, the people in God, the nature people, until it was time for our karma in 1492, hence the middle passage. Going from the higher self to the lower self, the middle passage, they came through. It's a portal. They want you to think it's dealing with slaves from Africa. No, it is all spiritual. I broke that down in the book eloquently. Okay, check this out. It was not too much fear of sailing of the edge of the world that impeded the westward exploration. The theory of the spherical world had been taught as early as the 6th century. It was rather a sense of trespass and sin, a sense of fear, awe, as well as wonder, which men felt at the approach to the land under the western wave. So once again, it's not that they didn't know of the Americas. It was fear to come back before the prophecy had to be fulfilled. It wasn't time for us Aboriginals to face our karma for being the first people manifested here on earth, not in the world, on earth. The world is a whole new creation. And I broke that down already. Okay? The earth is first. And then a simulation of the earth had to be created, the illusion, the matrix. And that was a whole new creation. Okay? But they were barred from the original Garden of Eden. They only taught you about one, only one, but they mixed two of them together, two stories together, of the righteous bloodline and the unrighteous bloodline. So they started with the unrighteous bloodline in Genesis chapter 2, where they were kicked out, but they're not telling you about the righteous bloodline who was already in the Americas. Y'all better wake up and learn this truth. The next great adventure into the unknown would not take place until the 20th century, that into outer space, and only the landscape of the moon would bring men to marvel again what? The landscape of America. You see what they did with the moon? The moon god. Moon means man, el mano. Lunar gods. That's why they had to bring the lunar god into the America. The God of the Bible in Genesis chapter 2, moving forward, the Lord God is a moon god, a lunar god, a demigod. That's not my God. I have no covenant with this demon, this Satan. Y'all worshiping Satan, y'all don't know. But like I said, I broke that down in the book. So I just want to go through that to show you the mindset of Christopher Columbus, Arizona. They knew they were coming into a place that no one had seen in anywhere else on the face of this earth. The Americas was paradise, celestial paradise, the original Garden of Eden. We are pre-Adamites, as in Adam, as in Genesis chapter 2. Our bloodline goes further than that. Let me return this book and stop sharing. Boom. And I think we're good. So I could read a little bit about an Aboriginal title, but I put the link in the description. I'm not going to read on that. Okay. I think I've given you guys a whole lot, but let me just kind of like touch a little bit on that so you're able to see exactly what I'm talking about. All right. So we about an hour and 45, okay, 47 minutes. All right. So I'm not going to cheat you off of the information. So let me just go ahead and talk about Aboriginal title real quick. Okay. So far we have discussed Black people, Indian versus Native. We talk about the West Indies, the West Indian. We are the West Indians. Okay. I'm talking about the entire Americas because it's considered the West. So we are the West Indians, Indians of the West. I showed you a map that's literally $6,500 that show you America. Okay, the true Nova India. All right. And what we have to do now, we have to take back the West, because they showed you in the movies the cowboys represents, cowboys again, it is all symbolic, represents the foreigners. Okay, the foreigners that came here to fight the American Indians, not natives, American Indians, and they took the West. Now they make you think the West was only Texas. No, the West literally means the entire Americas. It is all symbolic. So now we have to take back the West, not as in a Western ideology, no, but the West as in our geological location. We have to take back the West. All right. How did they do that? They did that through the West Indian Company and the Virginia Company. Once they created the Virginia Company, it literally was the dominion and the takeover of North America. So we have to take back the West by taking back what? Virginia and the West Indian Company. All right. So now we are going to go into tenants. All right. Which they made us tenants, but we have to go back to landlords. And how do we do that? We have to get introduced to Aboriginal title. Okay. So I put that link in the description for you. So here we go. Introduction. Aboriginal title, also known as original or what? Indian. It doesn't say native. You see, native has nothing to do with Aboriginal or Indian. They are two separate, distinct people in regards to the people who call themselves natives right now. They are not the American Indians. That's why they vehemently protest against being called American Indians, because they have to take you further away from the whole concept of American Indian. Kill the Indian, save the man. Okay, so Aboriginal title, also known as original or Indian title, is the particular form of property right ensuring to native people, okay, by virtue of their occupation of land from time immemorial. Okay, native retain Aboriginal titles solely because of the original and continuous possession of the soil. The purpose of this note is to examine and discuss the incidents of Aboriginal possession as they exist in the United States and Canada. This discussion will include an examination of the essential elements in establishing a claim of Aboriginal title. This note is not intended to be an exhaustive treatment of Canadian Aboriginal title problems. Rather, this note will emphasize American precedents and problems. The Canadian cases and issues will be discussed when they present approaches that either add to the understanding of the existing American position or present a novel understanding or approach to American law. All right. Nature of the Aboriginal title in the United States. Like I said, I put all that in the description for y'all. Okay, but I'm just going to read this one paragraph. All right. The theory of Aboriginal rights is generally traced to Francisco de Victoria, a 16th century Spanish theologian. Pardon me. So once again, as you could see, all these things came here from these terms came from Europe, and they came from people of color. The pale man only picked it up because I explained to you why the pale man had to come and talk, because of that word karma. Okay, so with that being said, Victoria's lectures, when coupled with the papal bull of 1537, provided the philosophical impetus for Aboriginal rights as they exist in North America. The papal bull of 1537 declared that Indians had the right to freely and legitimately enjoy their liberty and possession of their own property. Although not all European nations accepted the papal bull as the binding law on the possessions in the New World, all the major colonial powers embraced the philosophy enunciated by the papal bull. The first American statement on Aboriginal land title arose in Johnson versus McIntosh. Check that out. Chief Justice Marshall delivered the opinion of the United States Supreme Court that is regarded as the starting point of any inquiry into Aboriginal land title. So we're going to skip down here for a second. All right. We are going to go. Let me see if they mentioned that. Give me 1 second. Aboriginal possession. Establishing Aboriginal title. So anyway, I put that link in the description for you, and please take your time. It's only about 37 pages. All right. I'm not going to read the entire thing. So go ahead and read that, and you'll see exactly what it's talking about. All right. And it will all make sense to you. The reason why we lost any title in regards to Aboriginal title is because our status have been changed, and voluntarily or involuntarily or through trickery, okay, we have been given all these different titles or identities. Okay, so that's why it's important again to go back and correct our status as who we are as the American Indians. All right. All right. I agree. William Mosley. All right. So with that being said, we have a lot of work to do, and I hope you got some value, from this lesson. And let us just summarize things. I started with a video from Kanye talking about we are not black. He's absolutely correct. Talking about Indians, saying we are the Indians, but he also said we are the natives. Yes, in essence, if we are not going to play word semantics, yes, he's correct, right? But when it comes to the legal system, and we're dealing with the United States, we have to be very mindful. And then, yes, semantics are being played because native becomes a legalese word. Okay, it was created from the legal society. You feel me? So, but American Indian was created from law. It deals with law. It deals with the Aboriginal people. So therefore, he's correct in a sense, but he has to articulate the difference. All right. So we did that. Broke down who the real black people are. Okay, we broke that down. Black people are actually the pale people. Who the Indians are, who the natives are. We're talking about us being the Indians of the West Indians. That's who we are. That we are taken now. We are taken by stepping up as who we are. We are taken by the West. We are taken by Virginia. In other words, we are taken by North America. All these companies. For those of you who don't know, the United States is actually insolvent right now. The United States doesn't exist. Okay, it doesn't exist, and I'm going to do a lesson on that as well. All right, it doesn't exist, and the next thing that's going to step up is the republic. But that could be a good thing and a bad thing for us original people. All right, so I'm going to do another lesson on that because the republic does not belong to us either. So that's how deep we have gone into losing our birthright. There are many layers to overcome. So we dealt with that. All right, we dealt with we talked a little bit about Aboriginal title. All right, so I gave you the link, okay? Meaning that when we had our titles to the land, it was inherited, passed down through the mothers. Hence, we had a matrilineal system, okay? So we went from landlords to being tenants. We got to go back to tenants back. We got to go from tenants back to landlords. We talk about karma. We talked about the curse of the pale man. You have to stop. Well, you don't have to. If you want to call yourself black, that's fine. But like I said in the lesson, a lot of you are still black. So it's okay. You are black. All right. And that's cool. But me, I'm not black, not in complexion and not in my moral code of ethics. I'm not black. All right. So I am, with that being said, I'm an American Indian and I'm in characteristics and status. I am white as well. All right. Which deals with morality and being pure. All right. So know the difference. You feel me? Know the difference. So my brothers and sisters, man, enjoy the rest of your continuation. Continue to grow, continue to build. Get away from all these distractions. Like I said, I'm going to do another video talking about the impressions, the suggestions that was implanted and impregnated in your subconscious mind, that what you're dealing with the life that you're living, it's an illusion that was created for you. And that's why they tell you only use 10% of your mind. They're only talking about your subconscious mind. However, 90% of reality, okay, is actually in your subconscious and it's buried. And how do they keep it buried? With all the distractions. So I'm going to do a video on that to break that down for y'all. I'm also going to do another video talking about the United States. Now, it doesn't exist. There's no president. No. All the states are literally governing themselves individually. They will give you an idea or the illusion that the federal government is still running the states. No. No, it's the governors of the states. There is no United States right now. It's actually insolvent. All right. And they're making the transition from the United States to the Republic. But yet still, that's a good and a bad thing in a sense. And I will break all of that down. Okay. So once they get rid of the United States money, then you cannot now sue the United States for reparations or redress because the Republic didn't do anything to you. As far as they concerned, it was the United States. So if you, my brothers and sisters, don't want to wake up so we can take action right now, you cannot say, well, hey, they did this to me. No, you're doing it to yourself. Because if a company is bankrupt, as in the United States, it cannot pay anything. I'm just saying. Facts over feelings, right? So we'll talk about that in the next video. All right. So as you could see, everything is technology. Everything is politics. The reason why we're dealing with what we're dealing with, again, because of the karma. But if we don't realize that we have to step up, okay, step up, come together and get some redress, get something, some type of, monetary value, so to speak. Even if it's not the most important thing, because reparations deal with spirituality. Redress deals with money. So let's get some redress. But don't wait until the Republic comes, because again, if the Republic comes, they're going to say, oh, well, it was the United States. How can you sue something that don't exist? I'm here to teach you. So it's imperative that we step up and start, at least get some land. do something from the United States. Okay? Before it's too late. So have yourself an amazing 24. I'm your brother, Chief Kalinago, Flying Eagle. Go into the description below, all right, and get your copy of the books, man. You need that. Not want, you need it. Okay? You need it. It's important. It's very, very, very important that our people, our children get this knowledge. And that's another reason why I spend so much time giving you so much of my time, because I am serving my purpose. That is my calling. All right. Now, I'm done. All right. We'll talk soon. I truly, truly love y'all for real, man. All right. So enjoy your 24 and we'll talk on the next one. All right. Take care.